Hi, Julio. Let's take a look at your new set of essays today. Shopping, leisure activity, positive trend, and also what's the reason? Let's see. Over the last 2 decades, shopping has become increasingly popular among adolescents and university students in the Western countries. Get rid of the. It's just Western countries, okay? There are a number of reasons which explain this phenomenon, but the most determining one is the rise of social media. From my point of view, this is an excellent opportunity for traders and for our society as a whole. Okay, interesting. Let's see what you wrote. Firstly, it is commonly agreed that social networks have completely changed the way youngsters spend their free time. A recent survey showed that the average Spanish adolescent devotes between 3 and 4 hours each day on social networks, especially Instagram and YouTube. As a result, entrepreneurs have seen a unique opportunity so as to advertise their products on the web and maximize profits. I personally believe that this is the main reason why young adults consider shopping as one of the most appealing leisure activities. Lovely. Let's see. So, what have you told us? The reason why we're shopping so much is because of social media. So entrepreneurs take advantage of this and promote their products. Okay, fine. Secondly, the rise of this popular activity represents a positive development for businesses and for the local economy without a shadow of a doubt. It should be noted that a European study published last month said that young adults nowadays spend twice as much money on, not in shopping, on shopping than they did 20 years ago. Consequently, there has been an enormous development of startups and the unemployment rate has plummeted in the majority of Western countries. Okay. I don't love this paragraph. Okay. So is this a positive or negative development? You said it's positive for businesses and the local economy. Okay. And then you said that young adults spend twice as much money. And then you said an enormous development of startups and unemployment rate has plummeted. All right. All right, it's fine. I think maybe this sentence kind of influenced me. I didn't really love it. Um, the local economy and for businesses. Um, yeah, all right. It's fine. It's fine. Let's keep going and then I'll tell you some more feedback when we finish. To conclude, in recent years, shopping has become one of the most popular leisure activities among youngsters. Doubtless, the development of social networks has a key role in this phenomenon. In my opinion, it represents a vital advance for our economy because it generates thousands of new jobs each year. Okay. So first thing I want to point out is I didn't love this firstly and this secondly. These typically work when you're arguing one side of an issue. So if it's one of those, do you agree or disagree? And you decide that you agree, then it makes sense to say in one paragraph, firstly, and why you agree, and then the second paragraph, secondly, and then why you agree. So that's where a linker like that would work. Here, because it was a 2 question essay, I don't really feel like firstly and secondly fit in perfectly here. Okay. There were other things you could have done, like here, for example. So I would have left this out. Let's pretend that you left it out completely. And then here, you could say, as far as the effect this has on society, I would say the effect is positive, or I would say it is positive for businesses and local companies. So you could have done something like that, just to give you an idea. Like it doesn't have to be always firstly, secondly, furthermore, consequently. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't have to be like that all the time. You can use other things as well. So you wrote this directly into the email body. I'm pretty confident it's over 250 words. Although I did feel like there could have been a little more development. So your writing is very good, your grammar is very good, your vocabulary is very good. I would have liked to see maybe a little bit more development. So you saw that I had trouble with this paragraph. There was something bothering me. I thought you could have added more here. Um, and this was fine. I mean, in terms of length, they were the same, but excuse me, this didn't really bother me. Whereas this, I felt just needed a little more. But on the whole, it's a lovely essay. Okay, let's see if you can develop just a little more. Go a step further when you're developing your arguments. Okay, so let's take a look now at your task 1. All right, so the graphs provide information regarding the changes in the student's branch of study preferences. Okay, in New South Wales between 2014 and 2018. I don't love this changes in students' branch of study preferences is an awkward expression. Let's see. How about just student preferences or student subject preferences? One of those I think would have been better, but this was awkward. In the first pie chart, we can observe that geography is a preferred subject at 27.7, followed closely by math at 27.3. IT and history represent the least favorite study areas at roughly 1% each. Okay. In the second figure, we can see that biology and physical education constitute the most liked subjects at 22.4 and 22.2, respectively, whereas geography holds the last position at 3.7. Okay, so you decide to talk about the top two and the bottom one. All right. If we take a closer look at both graphs, we can easily observe that there was a pronounced dip in geography preference with a 14% fall from 2014 to 2018. In contrast, physical education represents the highest growth with an increase of 13.5%. Regarding the most stable preferences, physics makes up the smallest change in 4 years with a tiny drop from 19.4 to 18.3. Okay. So there are a couple of things I want to see here. First of all, let me tell you what the most important is. The most important is I don't see an overview. You have to have an overview if you want to get a 6 or higher in task achievement. Without one, you will not get a 6. You'll get at best a 5. Okay? So the overview needs to be something that just shows us the general trend, the most obvious thing, the thing that really stands out. And it shouldn't have detail. Okay? So you don't want any detail, you don't want any percentages, anything like that. You do just want to show the main trend. So, maybe for me, let me think. I think the most interesting thing is what happened to geography. Okay, I think that's really interesting. And then maybe you want to mention that physics stayed stable. So while did something else jump? Oh, you know what else jumped a lot? PE jumped. So you could have said that over the 4-year period, PE increased considerably while the popularity of geography decreased. Okay, so maybe that's something you could have done. That would have been a decent overview. Okay. Or you could have said, let's say, no, I think that's pretty safe. I don't want you to say something else. I would have done something like that. Okay. Now you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 subjects to talk about. What did you do in terms of mentioning them? Remember that the subjects are, those are your key features. So you have to mention them. They're your categories. You have to say them by name, okay, even once. So let's say geography, that's 1, maths 2, IT and history 4, biology, physical education 6. Let's see. So far it looks like you've talked about 6 subjects. I think we said there were 8. So did you mention the other 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Okay, so this is also really interesting. Chemistry appeared in 2014, but it did not appear in 2018. So it wasn't even considered. So these are the kinds of things you want to mention. Okay. So let's see. Let me do it again. Geography, maths, IT, history, biology, physical education. Okay, yeah, so you mentioned 7 of them, but you never mentioned chemistry. And I think that's really kind of important. First of all, because number one, as I said, it's one of the categories. You don't have to give data about it necessarily, but since it's one of your categories, you do have to mention it. In fact, I know a lot of examiners who say that if you don't mention one of the categories, then there's no way you can get a 4. There's no way you can get above a 4 in task achievement because you're missing one of the key features. Okay, I have heard examiners say that. So that's something you want to keep in mind. But I also think it's very interesting to mention that even though it was super low in 2014, it didn't appear at all in 2018. And so I think you miss an opportunity to give an interesting piece of information there. So as you can see, even though everything is really well written, it's very possible that this would not have gotten above a 4 on task achievement. First of all, because you didn't talk about chemistry at all, which was one of your categories, but it wouldn't have gotten a 6 because you didn't have an overview. All right, which is such a shame because your writing is actually really nice. So I absolutely want you to start working on overviews, writing them, making sure you understand what they're supposed to do. They typically should come right after the introduction. Some people put them at the end as a conclusion. I'm not a big fan of that for a variety of reasons, but you don't get marked down for it. For me, it's more strategy, which is why I say put it at the beginning after your introduction. Okay? So that's what I want to see from you, Julio. All right, go ahead, get that started, and we'll meet back here with your next set. Good luck.